One of the requests we've had is for a little more training and help on the in-ear monitor system we have. I know that can be a huge frustration to not have a good in-ear mix and to not be able to hear anything. So what I've gone through and done here is just zeroed everything out so we can kind of start from scratch. I will be mixing this one as if it were my ears, so everybody's preferences will be a little different as to what instruments they have higher in the mix. So one thing that is really, really important is wearing both ears. I know that a lot of people like to hear the house, and I totally understand that. You want to feel it, and it sometimes sounds better. But the problem with that is that we tend to compensate for our ear that is pulled out, and we tend to run the volume higher, which can be really detrimental to your hearing. So I do not recommend pulling an ear. Now, if you want to feel like a moment where the congregation's singing or something, great, pull an ear. But for the sake of this video, I am going to be panning left and right, and that does not work unless you are wearing both ears. If you want more information on why it's important to wear both, just let me know, and I can give you that. So the first thing I usually do is I start with my master volume at about 1 o'clock, and my pack volume I put right in the middle. So we have a click. You can pull that up to a comfortable level for you. You don't want it to sound like it is busting your eardrum, but especially for instrumentalists, I definitely recommend having that click on top so that you can hear it and stay with that. So the next thing I will do is find my vocals. I usually have this right under the bar. So then I will pull myself up to a comfortable level, and I will keep it right in the center. Then I will go through and bring up the background vocals for whatever song. I know it switches, who leads and who is background for each song. So we'll just kind of keep them up a little under where my voice is. And then I pan left and right. This really helps your brain just differentiate what's going on. It helps, so you press and hold to pan. It really helps to get rid of some of the muddiness that's in the mix. So I highly recommend messing around with this, experimenting, seeing what works best, what sounds better to you. So we're going to just press and hold and pan. So notice how I have those two all the way out, and then the next two I have just a notch in. I like to keep Pastor JP up a little bit so I can hear him when he gets up to talk. Then I would personally go in and bring up my acoustic, and I also want that right in the center just so I can hear it. I want the keys up. Sorry, this thing's a little touchy. I want the keys up so I can hear right in the center, but then the electrics, we have been going with multiples recently, so that is perfect to pan left and right for those. So just try this out. See how it makes your mix just feel better. So I'll bring the bass up. I will just have that just slightly left of center. And the track, you don't really want a whole lot of this because it can get muddy. You really want the guide and the click, which is all going to be in the click channel. Now, if we are not using tracks, the MD has its own channel, number 2, so pull that up to where you can hear that. Then the drums. Now, drums for me, it's a fine line between I can't feel it and oh my gosh, it's so muddy, or my ears are bleeding. So the only things I want center generally, and this is all personal preference and things like that, but kick and snare I'll put up in the center. The rest I'm going to pan left and right. Tom 1, Tom 2. Now the overheads, be careful with the overheads because that's where the cymbals make my ears hurt sometimes. So if I feel like, oh my gosh, I cannot stand these in my ears, I'll check the overheads to see how the snares are doing. Drum pad, we only use that in a few songs. These other channels, we don't always use stuff. Miscellaneous has the grand piano if you ever need that. The computer if you want to hear videos, and the booth if the sound person's talking to us, that's in 7. And 8 is my talkback mic. Sometimes you'll see me use my foot pedal to talk through that. So that is about it for the mix. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you ever feel like everything's gone except one instrument, you may have bumped the solo button. That has happened to me more times than I would like to say. So make sure that's off. There is also a way to save your mix. The hard part about that with us is that people use different packs from week to week. So if you ever want to save your mix, let me know. I can show you how to do that. And that's the basics.